This is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhynes, and of course this is Millage, Georgia. I'm here in Millage by way of Gordon City, Georgia. I'm on my way to a city council meeting, but while I was sitting at a local restaurant, I was told that two of the Buffalo Soldiers, black African-American type, are buried here in historic Memory Hill Cemetery in Millage, Georgia. And I just thought I would stop by and cut a clip. I don't have time to go in. I will come back. But for the people who journey to Milledgeville, who would like to see a part of that history of the great Buffalo Soldiers that played a very important role in the freedom of the black man and the freedom of the white man, and other men, women, and their children, just may want to stop by Milledgeville, Georgia, while you're touring this beautiful Georgia city. Milledgeville, founded in 1803, and it is indeed a place that many Americans should come and look and get a copy of the southern view of history. Once again, the Ghetto Free Press, the Buffalo Soldiers in Milledgeville, Georgia. They also came through Valdosta, Georgia, and they were some of the best Americans. They didn't go down in history as just slaughtering and killing and murdering, discriminating and raping, but they have a beautiful history. And I just wanted to let you know. That is the Ghetto Free Press. We do what we do because you have a right to know. Milledgeville, Georgia, as I journey down to Gordon City Council, because I was called to view and witness what another black mayor must go through in the state of Georgia. Greetings. This is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhynes out of Valdosta, Georgia. I have highlighted problems in Meigs, Georgia concerning black mayors. I have also been to Quitman, Georgia with Mayor James Brown III. I've also traveled to Dawson, Georgia with Chris Wright, the black mayor that was shot 6 times, and yet God said, there's more work for you to do. Then I received a call for me to go to Hinesville to the Black Mayor's Conference. But while in Macon on Friday, State Representative Tyrone Brooks asked me to go to Moore's Ford Bridge. I went to Moore's Ford Bridge, and you've already seen those videos. Then I received another call. A call to a Georgia town that I've never been before called Gordon, Georgia. And as I promised you in the earlier videos that I was going to interview the mayor. And what's your name?
Mary Ann Whipple.
You're going to hear her truth, not her story. Because according to some citizens here, the stories have already been told. And so she wants to tell the truth. But this is at her home, and I want to thank you so much, Mayor, for inviting me in.
You're quite welcome.
But what we're going to do now, just to give this segment on YouTube, where I have over 500,000 views, this is directed to the people of Gordon, and to the State Attorney General and Secretary of State, and to Governor Nathan Deal. We want to show people in the state of Georgia and around the United States of America and the world that Georgia got some serious problems. And Georgia Attorney General and the governor and the president of the United States can ignore the black issues. But we intend to give you the rest of the story. I'm going to ask the mayor to start out by giving us the platform that she gave as she ran for the highest office in the city. Would you tell us your platform? Tell us a little bit about yourself first. You told us your name. First of all, why did you want to even run for mayor?
Well, Mr. Rhynes, my reason for running for mayor for the city of Gordon was to let this city know that over 140 plus years that this dream could become reality. For many years, the whites have been in control. And now, God has allowed me, for such a time as this, to become the mayor for the city of Gordon.
Okay. Thank you very much. Tell us about your platform. What did you run for, and what do you stand for until this day? Just talk to America.
Yes. Number one, here are some statistics that I made available to the citizens of Gordon that they should be aware of. Number one, in 2000, there were a total of 3,000 of us living in this and working in this area. In 2010, the number dropped to 1,900, which was a decline of approximately 30%. Now, we are in a decline while a few are profiting. More money is being spent, but where is it going? Well, I submitted my name to be the next mayor, and I stated that I'm very confident that I'm the best candidate with the leadership to make Gordon be the best. My burning desire included but was not limited to the following. Stop the hemorrhaging of workforce by bringing more high-paying jobs to this area. Improve our parks, streets and roads, arts, recreation facilities, preserve our historical sites, encourage more tourism, industry, and work towards making Gordon the most beautiful city in this area, and encouraging the highest standard in our school system. And with that being said, I bring vast experience, vision, honesty, dedication, expertise, and a listening ear to accomplish these goals, to make Gordon be our pride and joy. Gordon deserves the best. Our children, yet unborn, will forever say thank you to us for doing this. And I stand and will say, together, working together, we can move Gordon forward.
And this was the gist of your platform, am I correct?
Yes.
Now, considering what you have just shared with the entire world, after being the mayor for these few months, what, in your opinion, before we close this out, have been a hindrance to you in accomplishing what you set out to do?
Well, because I requested and asked for a forensic audit, has been the major force behind holding this city back. We can't move forward. All I asked for was that the records and everything else be cleared so that we could have a fresh start for a fresh and new beginning.
Madam Mayor, I want to talk about some of the real issues in the city, and I believe it may be more appropriate for us to journey down to your office.
Yes.
So we'll go down there and we'll discuss some of the problems that you feel may help or hinder the city. So I want to thank you for coming into your home. And I like to do this always before I close out. Would you kindly tell me about some of the pictures behind you? I see you say one says the Union Recorder. What was that article about?
Well, that was my first, as you see, when I recorded an album, CD, my first recording,
Okay.
which is a major accomplishment.
Okay, the next picture, what is that picture? Why do you have that? What does it mean to you?
This was when, with the former lieutenant governor for the state of Georgia. And this...
But while you're at that one, I have a question for you. Have you ever ran for any office other than the mayor?
Yes.
What did you run for?
Well, I was first elected to the school board, Wilkinson County Board of Education. I was the first female / African American to sit on the school board for Wilkinson County.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Next, of course, as I said, this, Lieutenant Governor Mark Taylor,
Okay.
when I was invited to the inauguration.
Okay.
This is a picture, I'm sorry, this is a plaque where I received for loyal and dedication services to the education of the youth here in Wilkinson County.
Okay.
This is a certificate of appreciation in recognition of my steadfastness, commitment, and unyielding service to the citizens of Wilkinson County.
Okay.
Of course, you know that's a portrait of me, as you can see.
Yes.
And this is where I received the key to the city of Milledgeville, Georgia.
Which is only how many miles from here, by the way?
Maybe
18?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe, perhaps 15.
Okay,
now.
15, okay.
Of course, this is a picture of me being elected to the Board of Education in 1994.
Okay.
And of course, behind me, if you can clearly see, this is a picture of our then governor, Roy Barnes.
Okay. The then governor?
Yes, for the state of Georgia.
Okay. Thank you very much. Before we journey down to City Hall, the place that, for the first time, I sat in on the council last night, and I have to admit that it was very unique, but we'll travel down there. Any closing remarks you want to give them closing?
I just want the people to know that I'm a mayor who's really concerned about the welfare of Gordon, Georgia, and its citizens. I only want to enhance this city by making it be the, as we would always say, bring it back to the status as if it were the Garden of Eden, to restore it to its original splendor. And I only want the best for the citizens of this great city, Gordon, Georgia.
Thank you very much. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. We press the information in your head because ignorance will destroy us, but information can save us. We don't clip it, we don't snip it, we don't hide it, we just report it. George Austin Rhynes, in another city, doing what we do, because after all, if I don't do it, and if we don't do it, it won't be done. Excuse me, this is the Ghetto Free Press. What's your name?
My name is April Smith.
April, could you tell me how long you lived in this city?
I've lived here over 40 years.
Almost 40 years, okay. I was talking to you, and I want to highlight, you asked some very pertinent questions. What was you saying about what do you think of the mayor first of all, and then go into any other thing you just want to share with the people for a better understanding of what this city is going through and what it's all about.
Actually, the mayor, she's a wonderful person. As a person, I've known her, and for her to actually step up and want to get the betterment for Gordon, I really applaud her for that. But as she has taken office, she has not been able to even move any kind of step forward because she's being put down. Everything that she tried to go in and establish, you know, to do the betterment of Gordon, she's being shut down. And I've actually attended the council meetings, not since she's been mayor, but actually I've attended the meetings prior to her even becoming mayor. A lot of things that she is actually going through, I've I've never seen it in the other prior city council meetings. A lot of things that they're bringing against her, I've never seen this happen. And it really behooves me, you know, to actually see she's going through this. And as the council meeting that we had last night, a lot of things have been coming out. And as far as who's on the signatures, as far as being for the bank and everything. So last night, one particular thing that stood out to me that I just could come to wits with it. I couldn't understand it rather. And if you're not on the financial document, how would you know what's being transpired and what's not being transpired? And the person that's actually supposed to be on the financial documents, they don't even know what's going on. So it's some kind of contradictory there that I just don't understand.
Well, you say that, so there are some people who know more about the finances than the people who should know?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Some of the councilmen that's on the council board, they're speaking out as to what's on the financial report, rather than the person that's actually signed on the document. They don't even know anything about it. So that's contradictory to me. Something is going on, and it's not right.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're so
Anything
welcome.
else you want to say, or that's about it?
That'll be it.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press doing what we do because somebody got to do it. Bye-bye, we're gone. Greetings, this is the Ghetto Free Press. I just interviewed the mayor and some more citizens, but after listening to the husband of the mayor, I thought that I would ask him a few questions here before I get ready to leave the city. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Basil.
Basil, all right. And you speak a little different dialect. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Jamaica.
Jamaica, all right, already from Jamaica. What I want you to tell us, I'm sure that you are familiar with the problem that your wife is having. What do you think may be the overall problem? Do they respect the ballot and the voters of Gordon, Georgia?
Well, I will say this. When I came to this country, I was told that the vote was one of the most important things a citizen could have. But I find here is that there is a gender that certain people have, and when they go to the vote, go to the ballot, go to the election, and vote for somebody, it doesn't really make any difference, because they have an agenda to find some one way or the next. If they have somebody to be elected, they find a way to have him deemed to be the elected candidate. Now I bring your attention to the fact that my wife, Mary Lou, was not the first black to be elected as mayor of the city of Gordon. You had another man in 1994. He was elected, and they stole it. They stole it. And if you go back to the to the records, you'll find that the reason why he was not
Elected or put in office?
He was not sworn in as a mayor is because the time has run out for him to make to contest the results. But basically, he won, and I think the reason why really the truth is he was threatened. Well, this mayor has found it necessary not to take the easy way out. Stand up and be counted. And because she was elected as a mayor, she should be really given the privileges of a mayor. And she should not be used and abused by the power structure of this city and told what she can do and told what she can't do, and bring out ungodly charges that is not really have no foundation whatever. How can somebody be found guilty of equal opportunity employment default and he's the one bringing charge against the city right now.
What about the news media? I was called to Gordon, Georgia, because they say that whatever is published in the newspaper and television is one-sided, but that the mayor's side is never published. And we having the same thing in other areas of the state of Georgia. What do you think about that, or what's the status on that?
Well, let me say this. We may think that what is happening in Gordon is isolated to Gordon only. But if you look at right across the state of Georgia, it is repeated time and time and time again. And in some cases, it is even resorted to violence. There was one mayor that was shot 4 times.
Six times. I interviewed him the other week.
Oh, and they left him for dead.
Yes, sir.
And God says, he,
got work unfinished.
Yes, your job is not finished here yet.
Right.
So, another one was not permitted to enter the city hall.
Right.
And these many people are abused. They are treated so unfairly that I wonder, where is the law and order of this country?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, that's a very good point. I want to ask you this question here. Don't you think, just consider, not to consider maybe Quitman, Meigs, Dawson, or Warren County, or another county, Davisboro, after considering all these problems in these cities that dealing with black mayors, why do you think the Governor Nathan Deal, or Attorney Sam Olson, or the Secretary of State, it seemed to me that they ought to come in here and see what's wrong. I mean, right now, the eyes of the United States and the eyes of the world is focused on Georgia, and yet the Georgia General Assembly, they're not saying anything about all of it. What do you think about that?
Well, bear in mind, my friend, that in 1964, we had the same thing happening here.
Yes, sir. Okay.
And that's why we had the march on Washington.
Yes.
Because nobody wanted to come to the towns or the cities to see how people were living. And that's why we had that march on Washington. And that was, the whole world saw it. So it does appear as if we will have to do something like that this time to bring some attention to our city and to our community, to make sure that we have not moved, we have not improved since 1964. 50 years later, we are still experiencing the same things as our forefathers experienced.
Are you a citizen of this country now?
Yes, I am.
So, do you register to vote?
Yes, I am.
Why weren't you at the meeting last night?
I was no. The people told me that I should stay away, bottom line.
Okay. That's good enough. But the bottom line is that I want to say to you, from what some of the other citizens told me last night, you do have a right to be there, in my opinion. Yes. And I think you should be there. The mayor is going to do what she should do, what she wants to do, but you are her right arm man. But anyway, that's so much for that. What I would like for you to do now, so would you not say that what you've seen here in the United States, would you agree with me that it don't look good on our form of government as you close out?
Well, I would say that our government is not really in control. And I don't know if people will agree with me or not, but it seems like the lobbyists, the big money,
yes, sir,
they are the one that is pulling calling shots.
Okay.
And it's time for us to wake up and find people who is willing to stand up and be counted. People are thinking they may get killed or so forth, but the point is we are only here for a short time.
Absolutely.
And the Lord says, your whole duty of man is to fear God and keep His commandments. And that's all I do. Fear God and keep His commandments.
Thank you so much.
What can man do to me? Amen.
Thank you so much, my beautiful brother. I've seen you involved. You've been to Macon. I think you came to Brooks County with the Quitman 10+2. You know about them. Yes. And your wife has been there. I want to tell you that it seems to me that it takes people from outside the community often to come in and bring about change. And I think that you and your wife will make some great strides here in the city of Gordon. Thank you very much. And thanks for the interview. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, and this is George Boss Rhymes doing what we do because it must be done. Look, ignorance will destroy us, but information can save us. And I am concerned about saving us. And when I say us, I mean this republic, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Protestant, Catholic, and you. Bye-bye. We go. Greetings. I'm in Garden City, Georgia. We're going to interview the mayor of this beloved city. She's a black African American, much as just like Linda Harris and Meggs, just like Chris Wright in Dawson, Georgia, much like James Brown III in Quitman, Georgia, just like several other mayors that I'm not going to mention right here now, but they have stories to tell. And I'm going to let you listen in the next clip to, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. Much is said about this mayor in terms of violating the charter, much like the mayor in Meggs. And so we're going to listen in the next clip to an interview I did with the mayor. And as Paul Harvey would say, get ready, get ready, get ready for the rest of the story. It just may be information that you've never heard before. You read your newspapers, you watch your television, but we're gonna hear from the mayor herself in the next clip. Listen, please. Once again, this is George Rhynes, and I'm with the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm in Gordon, Georgia. And I promised you that I was going to talk a little bit more here at the mayor's office. And Mayor Lou, I just want you to tell us about some of what's going on here in the city. We've pretty near covered you, your agenda, your purpose. We've covered the impediments to moving the city forward, in your opinion. And I have witnessed, as people will hear, actual citizens who also have a belief system in terms of what the impediments are. So will you share with us some of the good points about this city, as well as anything else you would have to say?
Well, Mr. Rhynes, I truly believe that Gordon is a great city. I was born and reared here, and I know the ins and outs of this city. I've now come to realize that as being the mayor, I have many obstacles that are in my way. Nevertheless, I'd like to say that some time ago, earlier this year, upon being sworn in as mayor for the great city of Gordon on January 6th, I wrote this letter to the citizens of Gordon, Georgia. I'm fully aware that you've heard the many stories regarding...
Excuse me. I want to interrupt you. I'm sorry. But before you read this letter, excuse me, but have you ever tried to, whatever you're about to read or give out to the people, have you ever tried your local news media in terms of radio, TV, newspapers to get this out to the people?
Yes,
have you ever
yes,
done? What happened to that?
They didn't publish it. They would not publish it.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
And with the media, they every word of truth that I gave them, they redirected it by editing it and not giving the full truth.
Well, we want you to give it the way you want to give it, and we're going to try to email it to every radio station, newspaper here in the community as well as beyond. We also want Secretary of State. We also want the Attorney General, and we want even Governor Nathan Deal to hear what you are saying as well, because I'm discovering that it seems like many black mayors are going through the same thing that you're going through.
Yes.
And if the news media don't do it, then we as citizens, and me as a retired military veteran, think that the people have a right to know. Go ahead.
Exactly. And thank you for this great opportunity, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you.
Once again, I wrote this letter to the citizens of Gordon, Georgia. I am fully aware that you have heard the many stories regarding the office of the mayor. Let me take this opportunity to bring you up to date with the whole truth. The Bible states, "Know the truth, and the truth will set you free." If you cannot accept truth, how can you ever be free? I was elected to this office of mayor on November 5th, 2013. Many will not accept this truth. I am black, a female, and the mayor of Gordon. Many will not accept this. I inherited a city with 30% unemployment rate and considered one of the poorest cities in Georgia. The Gordon Police Department has been plagued with many lawsuits that have cost the city millions of dollars. The water system is manned by unqualified personnel, which could cost the city millions of dollars. The city codes are not maintained properly. The electrical inspector does not possess the skills necessary to perform the job that is required. This is an accident waiting to happen. At City Hall, the auditor stated that the clerk does not possess the professional skills necessary to prepare or review the year-end financial statements in sufficient detail to detect material misstatements in the financial statements. Also, in the city's general fund, actual expenditures exceeded budget appropriations. This is a violation of state law, and the auditor recommended that the city should monitor the budget and amend when appropriate. For this reason, I'm left with no alternative but to demand a forensic audit, and as I expected, I am met with much extreme resistance. This is the cause of the uproar that you are hearing about. An audit is desperately needed because it will determine the status of Gordon's finances. It is my duty and obligation to protect our tax dollars, and that's part of what I was elected to do. And I need your cooperation. Please don't rush to judgment. As stated in my platform, my burning desire includes but not limited to the following. Stop the hemorrhaging of workforce by bringing more higher-paying jobs into this area. Improve the appearance of our parks, streets, roads, arts, and recreation facilities. Preserve our historical sites. Encourage more tourism industry, and work towards making Gordon the most beautiful city in this area. Encourage the highest standard in our school system, and increase our population such that people will want to come and stay. Naturally, although I bring vision, honesty, dedication, expertise, and a listening ear, I will also need your cooperation, your prayers, and your support all the way. I'm confident that we can achieve this goal and even more because I am guided by a higher power, and somewhere in the future I will have to stand before God naked to give an account. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I must rejoin you for the purpose of asking you some pertinent questions.
Yes.
And we'll do that in the next clip. Tune in to the next clip. Now we are back. Once again, I'm George Rhynes, just to get on Free Press. And Mayor Lou, the people just heard what you have written and what you sent to the newspaper, but as usual, many newspapers in Georgia consider our news not to be news. But I listened to you very attentively, and don't think this is a negative, but it could be. Normally, mayors do not go against the grain per se in terms of pointing out the negativity of the city that they were elected to lead. So why did you, in my opinion, break ranks to highlight these things that looks negative upon the city? Maybe people, some people may resent that. So what is your point on people that would say that maybe you broke tradition as mayor to highlight these things? What would you say to them?
Well, if I'm understanding clearly, what I think that you're asking is, why did I write this letter?
Yes. Mhm.
Because it was very, very important that the citizens and constituents of this city need to know. We have such a high employment rate, and it grieves me to my heart when I look around and see that jobs are not being brought in.
Mhm.
We have the graduates from high school, they're leaving this town.
Right.
And to say to that as I look around for our children, they are our most valuable products. We have nothing in this town for our children. They are precious commodities, particularly our very own. We don't have outlets where we can take them to a skating rink, to a swimming pool.
Not even a swimming pool?
Not even a swimming pool.
I noticed a lot of water coming.
Facilities, recreational areas, nothing in place for these children. Children are my passion. And I've grown up here in the 50 plus years that I've been on this earth in the city of Gordon.
Yeah.
We have none of this. It's time to, you say, break rank or change that mindset and say it's all about our children. But as I look here and see the mismanagement, misappropriations since I've come into office, we can do better than this, and this is why I've asked for the audit. And my constituents, mind you, voted me in based on the fact that we needed to change the outlook or perspective of this office. I come in with transparency. I offer transparency. Why is there a problem for opening these books and letting the people see where their tax dollars are being appropriated? Why is that such a problem?
Do you think that, I mean, I see the same thing. Meg's mayor have told me that she wanted an audit. I've talked to another mayor in Quitman who wants an audit. I know several boards of education wants an audit. Do you think that there may be a possibility that, and I'm just asking your opinion, nothing that I think would complicate your position.
Yeah.
But do you think maybe at some point, and maybe it's required by the state to do an audit on all these cities? Do you think that may help? Just general audit, it may highlight something. Maybe if there is a trend in the cities, maybe it would bring some light and we could build a better Georgia governmental system.
Most definitely. One that needs to be transparent. And as I've stated, during this process, let's lay the books open.
Right.
Let it be open. They want everything else open. Let's lay these books open so that the people can know where every dime has been spent.
Right. What happened last night? I was at the meeting and there was something that came up that as an outsider I was called, but what did they mean about people was getting off, you had to get somebody else on some kind of bank? What was that all about?
Well, prior to your getting here, and when we first took office, we know that with any new administration, there has to be the changes. The signature cards need to be done over rather, because there's a new administration coming in, and there were hurdles in our way. We couldn't get our signatures on the cards. There were problems, and finally we've gotten signatures. Now we can't. I mean, there's another hurdle we've got. Matter of fact, the councilman and the city clerk has offered to have their names removed from everything.
Are they also going to, did they ask to be removed from the council as well?
No.
Well, what if...
Now the councilman that is asked, we've had 3 that didn't want their name on anything. So they've not asked to be removed from council. So my stance is, well, why are you here?
That's what I'm asking.
I've got a city clerk who doesn't want to be on anything, but she found last night that there were 2 accounts she said she wanted to remain on, she and the chief of police, because this is required by the state of Georgia. And I want to see that in writing. So basically, if she's wanting to remain clerk and not do the duties,
well, she may just want to resign.
I would think so.
Yeah, it seems to me. But anyway, I thought that was very interesting. Something else that happened. No, when you talk about the millions of dollars about the police department.
Well, let me just go ahead and say that we've had, prior to my taking this position as mayor, I do know that we've had lawsuits, and there's been tasing and on, and all this was before I took administration.
So been having
we just leave that.
Okay, all right.
You know,
Okay, gotcha. Okay. The city, other words have been documented. The city codes are not maintained.
And what I'd like to say to that, we have a superintendent of works, and to find out how he was put in position is because it took a force of the people to come down in order for him to take this position as a superintendent of works. My understanding is that the mayor wanted to give this position to someone else, and it took his church family in order to get this position. So I can understand with him coming in, he may not be qualified in certain areas, and I've offered since being mayor that whatever assistance he's needed training in, we will work with him in that area.
Okay. So, as I listened very attentively as you read this, and you say that you are black, you're a female.
Yes.
And that you're the second black mayor of the city, right?
No, I'm the first.
Oh, you're the first black mayor?
First
okay.
And only.
Okay. Do you think, and I don't know whether you came to council meeting prior to your being sworn in, but can you imagine any other mayor stepping into this position and having to go through the impediments and the confusion that I saw last night at the meeting? Do you think any other mayor have gone through that? I mean, it may be your opinion if you didn't go to the meeting, but have you ever? Some people say they've never seen it before.
Well, let me say this, and your question is I think, did I attend council meetings? I've always, yes, attended council meetings, and I'd like to say that I'm an advocate for being involved in the government entities. I've always been part of the political process. I've served on the committees here. As a matter of fact, I was a member of the Exchange Club, and formerly also a member of the Civic Club, and a volunteer member for Better Hometown here in the city of Gordon. So I've always been involved, and will continue to be involved. And so the constituents came to me, and we met and asked if I would run for mayor.
Right.
And it was not all black. As well. It's not who voted me in. It's not all whites who voted me in. There were a combination of people that wanted change, that wanted to move this city forward, and that's why I was elected.
Okay. So if you were the first black mayor, and part of my other question was, had you ever seen this type of impediments or confusion in city council as you have experienced? Have you ever seen that before?
In this city?
Yeah, in the city. The reason I asked that is, before you answer, the reason I asked that is because when I walked the street of Dawson, Georgia, and when I walked the streets of Meigs, Georgia, the citizens say they had never seen anything like that since Mayor Linda Harris took office. And she is black, but they also had another black mayor. So it just seemed like to me that we are setting a new precedent.
And I will answer that question. No, prior to my being elected as mayor of this city, I'd never, ever. It's like before after I took office, when I went to the mayor's conference in Atlanta, and upon arriving there, I met many of them, particularly African Americans or blacks.
Right.
And when we had dialogue, they were telling me of what they were going through. Never could I have ever imagined that we would, this would be such a wide epidemic across the state of Georgia. So I look back and see now that it's almost like it's they're targeting us as blacks.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, prior to my being elected, for over 140 plus years, no mayor in this capacity has ever gone through, in this city, what I'm going through. And they would never have subjected the previous mayor, Kenneth Turner, even my staff in this office, who said that he treated them with a tyranny as a taskmaster for 12 years. He would not allow them to even voice their opinions or whatever. It was his way or the highway. Well, I've given these people liberty. And because of that, I'm catching resistance from the clerk, chief of police. I'm just calling it out just as it is. I've 3 weeks into office, I've had 4 to file an EEOC complaint against me, with one being a black male.
Right. The same thing as in Meg's. I've experienced the same thing Meg. But let me close it out, or get ready to close out, by asking you about last night, a part of last night. There was so much confusion at the meeting last night. I had never seen anything like it, and I've covered quite a few. Why? Because I'm sure people are going to ask this question. They may have even presented on news last night, I'm not sure. But why did you adjourn the meeting in the manner in which you did last night? For those people who want to know why you just said, I'm going to close the meeting. Why did you do that?
Well, because I saw that it was getting out of hand. It was about to be a riot, a fight, I truly believe. And so I couldn't proceed further because the control, the respect as me, as mayor in my position, was totally out of hand.
Do you feel, I mean, when I was sitting there, I watched and I was wondering why. Now, I know in Valdosta, to me, the police officers are in the room and the mayor would turn to the police officers and ask them for assistance if they needed it. I saw a police officer, and I commended him last night for doing what he did. But why didn't he do it earlier? The police,
Exactly.
the police are there to
serve
assist
and
you.
protect. Exactly,
to
to serve and
assist you.
protect. But as you can see, pretty much they move at their own pace. The defiancy that you see is real here in this city, in the city of Gordon.
Okay. Well, we'll close this out. I want to thank you for your openness, and I'm going to get back, and I'm going to talk to others, the city mayor, if they want to talk. I want to try to present both sides, but I'm here because I see a trend developing here with black mayors, and wherever I'm called, that's where I come. Keep doing what you're doing. I love what direction you had set up for the city. And as I said before, you must be pretty pressed to the walls to speak out like this against, not necessarily against, because it may be for the city. So close us out with any remarks that you would have. I got to journey back to my location. But thank you so much, Mayor, for being open. And I hope that maybe from these interviews that you and I have done, that other news media will understand that the people have a right to know what is going on, to not to cut it, clip it, snip it, or ignore it. Those days are long gone. There were so many people recording, both black and white, last night at the meeting, right? So if the news media don't report, and if they're going to wait for social media to get it done, well, we're going to get it done. Do you have any closing remarks for them?
Yes, I'd just like to say that I really am thankful that Mr. Rhynes presented himself to bring the truth to you, to let you know that media, by way of the newspapers, Wilkes County Post, and I will call names, Channel 13, Channel 41, 24, they have not been people friendly. Everything that I've said and stated to them is distorted truth. The problem they have is that no one wants to tell the truth. There is corruption, apparently, due to my request for a forensic audit. The people must know the truth. This is true. Thank you.
No, I can't leave it like that. I got to ask you another question now. Why would not the news media, and I know you can't speak for them, but let me put it like this. I was talking to an individual last night, and he was a member of the press. And he said to me, and I think you were standing next to him, he said that he wants to talk to you and interview you, but you would not consent to an interview. Remember last night?
Yes, I do, candidly.
And what was your answer?
My answer is because of that, no comment. The truth has been distorted, and he's a part of that same media. I'm sorry. They've brought me to this point. Just no comment.
So I guess you are saying that until they convince you that they're going to be fair,
Right.
and not one-sided,
Yes.
that you just refuse to.
I just simply refuse.
And I've heard that from some members of other organizations. They refuse to speak to the news media because of the fact that they're not going to be fair and balanced.
Right. Everything we've presented has been, once again, distorted. So, if at first, and I know that, and straight from the heart, I have nothing to hide. All I want is the truth to be told accurately.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm poor for ending these things. But when someone came to me last night and they said that the people were there in mass numbers against you was not because you were black. I mean, let me reemphasize what he said to me. They are not there because they are, or you are black, but they were there because you had violated the charter of Gordon, Georgia. What do you say to that?
That is non-truth. I've never, since my position as mayor, usurped any authority of violating any open records. We've never had a meeting. There's never been a quorum, and none of that is true. And you need to know the truth.
Wait, you say there has never been a quorum. What do you mean?
That takes 4 council members.
So you never operated when they did not have a quorum?
Exactly.
Okay.
Even so,
Okay.
we've never operated in that capacity.
Okay. All right. Once again, we want to thank you, Madam Mayor. A lot of places people wouldn't talk, but I thank God for some people that are willing to talk. And last night there were people who wanted to talk, but they didn't have the time. We may get back on another day to get there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And first of all, God, one last question. What's the status of Gordon overall, the city? What's the overall picture of Gordon, just right now? Just forget about everything, just the city in general. Do you think it's a place you recommend for people to come to? It's got to be some good here. I mean, with everything that I saw, it got to be some.
I will say this, Gordon is a wonderful place. Once this is, the audit is clear and business is continuing as usual, I think you will want to come to Gordon. If nothing else, just to remember that you met none other than the mayor of this great city, who is Mary Ann Whipple. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Once again, to Get Our Free Press. Bye-bye.